The Secret Life of Dad.
Daddy made a podcast.
And my uncle, who also has the condition, sought out kind of doctors and managed and found a doctor who said, well, there's this thing called meditation that we've heard of, which might help. And so I started meditating from the age of 11, and it completely controlled my condition. So that has been really important for me. However, nonetheless, in my 20s, I suffered from depression quite badly, I'd say, for probably a decade. But I was very high functioning depressive. So to everybody else, I was life and soul of the party, and I was doing all these amazing things in my life and having a great time. But internally, that wasn't what was going on. And I was in quite a bad place. And like a lot of men, which is partly, again, why we launched Metal, because a lot of men don't want to, as you know, the male mental health crisis, men need to talk, men don't talk, not very good at talking about their issues, sometimes take them to the grave, sadly. And, I was one of those guys who just couldn't talk about it. In fact, my best mate, who I was going out with all the time at the time, only found out that I had depression when he read about it in the Times when I was doing an interview about Metal. And he said, what were we going out? I was like, yeah, I know, sorry, mate. And I don't think I'm uncommon in that. I was eventually cured of that through clinical hypnotism because I was in a bad way. And I can't remember how I got introduced to it, but it also saved another friend's life, this hypnotist, when I told him about my experiences and he was suicidal and went to see this guy and it saved his life. So that was fortuitous, not just for me, but for him. After that, I was using my tools, meditation, breath work I really love, which is in the app, like really quick ways to transform your physiological state. And I think I kind of got more connected to my spiritual self, if you like, Now, in our app, well, there's nothing spiritual or woo-woo or hippie-ish about it because I don't think men generally need it. They need the science. Here's some, science shows the meditation, breath work, and the hypnosis stuff will work. Yeah, so let's just give them the science and the stuff that works. However, I've always been interested in the kind of source of things, so I've always been like, off to India or to go and live with some yogis or study at some kind of tantra school or God knows whatever else, go to a silent retreat for 10 days, which I hated.
A 10-day silent retreat?
Yeah, for Vipassana. Oh my God, it's bad.
You'd struggle with that, wouldn't you?
No, I would struggle with that.
Well, me too.
I'm very curious. I love the sound, though, of being able to explore your own mental well-being and through mindfulness.
Because they do darkness retreats now.
Oh, yeah, that'd be horrible.
Oh.
Well, look, it's 10 days silent. You turn up. I mean, they try and stop you when you go in. They said, go away. You're going to hate it. Go home now. And where I went in India. And I'm like, no, if you're bloody minded like me, I'm like, no way, I'm going in. But I had to sit for 15 hours a day, and pretty much. And I'd before that, I'd been making a show called Ibiza TV, with the DJs Darren Emerson and Eric Murillo. Basically, it was like a dance music show which we shot in Ibiza. And anyway, one day we came out of a club, and there's a big road in Ibiza. We came out of amnesia and we drove the wrong way onto that big dual carriageway straight into somebody going to work. And I ended up in hospital with a ruptured spleen and a broken shoulder and stuff like this. And then soon afterwards, I was in India doing this sitting for 15 hours a day, and it made it incredibly painful. Yeah, so it was a really painful experience for me. Also, you can't look at anybody. You're not allowed to make eye contact. You're not allowed to eat after 12 noon. Right. I mean, it's brutal. Okay. So anyway, I hated it, but some people like it. But that kind of connection to something bigger than me, some kind of universal guiding principle is really important to me. So I guess I have some kind of faith, I suppose.
The Secret Life of Dad.
Daddy made a podcast.